Good day, I'm Tamara Michaela and this is your JIS News for Monday, February 1. Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller has announced that Jamaicans will go to the polls for a general election on Thursday, February 25. In a presentation Sunday night, the Prime Minister said she has asked the Governor-General to dissolve Parliament this Friday, February 5. Nomination day will be on Tuesday, February 9, and the general elections will be held 16 days after. Elections in Jamaica are due 5 years after the day of the previous election, or within 5 years and 3 months of the date of the first sitting of the new Parliament. The Prime Minister, however, has the authority to call an election at an appropriate time. The last general election in Jamaica was held on December 29, 2011. The Ministry of Health says there is adequate medication available in the public health system at this time to treat the symptoms of Zika virus infection in the event of additional cases being identified. On the weekend, the ministry confirmed one case of the Zika virus in Jamaica. The patient, who has now recovered, is a 4-year-old child from Portmore, St. Catherine, who began showing symptoms after returning to Jamaica from travel to Texas in the United States last month. The child was investigated at the Bustamante Hospital for Children, and samples were subsequently sent to the Caribbean Public Health Agency, which returned the positive test result late Friday afternoon. The ministry says no other family member is ill at this time, but its investigations continue to determine the source of the infection and to determine whether there are other cases. Vector control activities have also been heightened, and the ministry is advising persons, particularly pregnant women, to take extra precaution to prevent being bitten by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which transmits the Zika virus. More beneficiaries under the Land Administration and Management Program LAMP will now access funds to apply for and process their land titles. This as the MOU governing a $90 million Development Bank of Jamaica grant has been modified. Before, only LAMP beneficiaries in certain parishes who satisfied certain conditions were able to access the DBJ grant facility.
I am pleased to announce that the DBJ has, in association with the Ministry of Water, Land, Environment and Climate Change, modified the terms of the MOU. It is now more flexible so that persons can access the financial assistance they need.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller was speaking on Friday as she issued 168 land titles under LAMP. Since 2012, LAMP has delivered 4,876 titles. The Cabinet Subcommittee on Ganja has given instructions for interim regulations to be drafted for the cannabis industry. The instructions came last week after an exhaustive process which included consultation with key stakeholders by the Cannabis Licensing Authority, CLA. The interim regulations will govern the licensing regime for the cultivation, harvesting, processing or manufacturing, transporting and retailing of ganja. This latest development comes just 9 months after the amendments to the Dangerous Drugs Act came into effect, and less than 8 months after the Cannabis Licensing Authority was formed. The authority is charged with developing and administering the regulatory framework for industrial hemp, as well as ganja for medical, therapeutic and scientific purposes. Implementation of the interim regulations will pave the way for the authority to begin issuing licenses, permits and authorizations in keeping with the regulations. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries has launched a $42.9 million support project for small poultry farmers. The initiative is part of the ministry's 2-year livestock development project and will assist over 2,000 farmers with training and distribution of chickens. Agriculture Minister Derek Kelly says the program will enable the farmers to achieve improved levels of productivity and profit while ensuring food security for Jamaica.
Poultry meat is the #1 consumed meat in Jamaica and is a shared market by both commercial and backyard farmers. These small farmers have invested heavily in these operations, and the Ministry through its extension services has ensured that the farmers have the available resources and training to be successful.
The initiative is being done under the All-Island Small Farmer Poultry Project and implemented by the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA. Data from the Agriculture Ministry has indicated that chicken production has increased significantly over the past 5 years, moving from 104.5 million kilograms in 2010 to more than 112 million kilograms in 2015. And finally, 60 students are now the proud beneficiaries of new facilities at the Barbara E. Lee Hing Banana Ground Basic School in Manchester. The new building houses a number of classrooms, a computer lab, play area, bathrooms, kitchen, canteen, and more. It was donated by Food for the Poor Jamaica in partnership with Christus Ministries. Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites has expressed gratitude for the donation.
We're onto a good thing here, you know. Over the past 4 years, we've been able to construct over 120 new early childhood institutions, and I pay tribute this evening to Food for the Poor for having been a major participant in that.
The building was named in honor of the late Barbara E. Lee Hing for her many philanthropic works. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thanks for watching.